The modern world isn't built on magic. It runs on cables, servers, logistics, code, and the invisible systems we depend on every day. This channel explores the infrastructure beneath the interface. I'm wet and see. Using NotebookLM, curated sources, and my own technical direction, I break down complex systems into something understandable without stripping away the reality behind them. If you want to see what really keeps the machine running, welcome aboard. Let's explore.
Welcome. Today we're diving into one of the biggest, most complicated challenges facing businesses right now. How to break free from that aging, legacy technology, without sinking the entire ship in the process. It's a problem that can feel like this invisible anchor, just holding you back while all your competitors sail right on by. So here's our game plan. We're going to start by really defining the problem of this invisible anchor. Then we'll uncover a really elegant solution that's actually inspired by nature. After that, we'll zoom out to look at your strategic options, map out a blueprint for what success looks like, and then wrap up by talking about what happens long after the migration is supposedly done. All right, first things first, let's talk about the problem. For so many companies, aging tech isn't just some small headache, it's a full-blown hidden crisis. It's that invisible anchor dragging down progress, killing innovation, and making you slow. I want you to really think about this for a second. If you had to name the single biggest risk hiding in plain sight inside your business, what would you say it is? The answer might actually surprise you. For a massive number of companies, that risk is the very technology that's supposed to be powering them. As systems get older, the tools, the platforms, even the fundamental architecture they were built on can become totally obsolete. And that makes them incredibly difficult, not to mention expensive, to maintain, let alone add any new features. And believe me, this isn't some theoretical problem. It has very real consequences. A study by McKinsey actually found that hiccups and inefficiencies in cloud migration projects are a huge deal. In fact, for 38% of companies, it caused their projects to be delayed by more than a quarter. That adds up to billions in surprise costs and wasted effort. Okay, so how do you even begin to tackle this? How in the world do you replace a massive, complex system that your business absolutely depends on without taking on a crazy amount of risk? Well, it turns out nature has a pretty brilliant answer for us. It's called the Strangler Fig Pattern. The name comes from the brilliant Martin Fowler, and it's named after a type of fig vine. This vine starts small on a host tree, but then it slowly grows over it, and eventually it completely envelops and replaces the original tree. It's just a fantastic analogy for a low-risk, step-by-step way to modernize your software. So here's how it works, broken down into 3 really elegant steps. First, you put a new layer, they call it a facade, right, in front of your old system. Just think of it like a smart traffic cop. It intercepts every single request that comes in. Step 2, you start building your new modern services, and you tell that traffic cop to start sending specific requests over to them, one piece at a time. Over time, more and more traffic is going to the new system. And finally, once every single function has been replaced, the old system is getting 0 traffic. It's a ghost town. You can safely shut it down. It's such a powerful way to replace a critical system piece by piece, which dramatically lowers the risk. Now, the Strangler Fig is an amazing pattern, but it's really just one tool in a much bigger toolbox. It's part of a broader playbook of strategies. So let's take a look at the full menu of options you have. This table does a great job of laying out the fundamental trade-offs. So on one end, you have rehosting, what people call lift and shift. It's fast, it's cheap, but you're usually just moving your old problems to a new address, so the return on investment can be pretty low. Then, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have refactoring. This is a major investment, both in time and money. But the payoff can be massive. We're talking a return of more than 2 times what you put in. And in between, you've got other choices like replatforming. The key thing to get here is that there's no single best answer. It's all about picking the right strategy for the right problem. And the performance gains, well, they really speak for themselves. The data is super compelling. A middle-of-the-road strategy like replatforming can boost your response time by 34%. But a full refactor, that number leaps to over 50%. And what's even more impressive, those re-architected systems can handle up to 8 times their normal traffic without even breaking a sweat. I mean, that's the difference between just keeping the lights on and actually innovating. But listen, picking the right tech strategy is only half the battle. If you really want to succeed, you need a blueprint that guides the whole organization, not just your IT department. A proven approach follows a structured, multi-phase framework, just like this one. And notice where it starts, not with writing code, but with executive agreement. Phase A is all about getting that crucial buy-in. Only then do you move on to kicking off the program and building the foundation in phases B and C. The actual migration, that doesn't even happen until phase D. And critically, it ends with phase E, which is a continuous cycle of operating and optimizing. This very deliberate step-by-step process is what keeps the project tied to business goals from day one. And success inside that framework really comes down to these 5 things. You absolutely have to have executive sponsorship to get the resources and keep everyone aligned. You need a crystal clear strategy that acts as your North Star. Security and compliance cannot be an afterthought. You have to have guardrails to control costs, especially in a pay-as-you-go world. And finally, you need a plan for your people, for managing the change. If any one of these is missing, the best technical plan in the world can just fall flat. Right at the very heart of this blueprint is governance. Now, this isn't about red tape and bureaucracy. It's about creating the guardrails that give your teams the freedom to innovate safely. It covers security, data management, how you operate day to day, and maybe most importantly, how you manage the finances so you don't get a shocking bill at the end of the month. And this isn't just theory. Just take this quote from Chris Brewer at PHH Corporation. During a massive IT transformation, he said that having a structured framework was absolutely key. It allowed them to actually understand what they had, build a clear business case for the change, and create a real roadmap to their future. It's a powerful real-world example of why having a solid blueprint matters so much. So finally, let's look beyond the project itself. Because if you think of modernization as a one-time thing with a finish line, you are missing the most important part of the entire transformation. This quote just nails the final idea perfectly. Real digital transformation isn't just about moving your stuff to the cloud. It's a fundamental cultural shift. It's about building an organization that constantly challenges how things are done, that isn't afraid to experiment, and that actually understands that failure is just part of learning and getting better. And all of this leaves us with one last, pretty provocative question to think about. I want you to take a hard, honest look at your company's technology. Is its architecture fundamentally built for a world that doesn't exist anymore, acting as that invisible anchor? Or is it truly ready to power your ambitions for whatever comes next? Honestly, the answer to that question is going to define your future.